Good morning, good morning, good morning. We'll be starting in a few minutes, as you can see by the timer. Today I just want to tell you about some exciting stuff that's happening with the Brothers of Legacy. We have opened up a membership program, and if you click the link that's right at the bottom, boom, you can be a part of that. We got a lot of background stuff we want to share with you guys, a lot of projects that we got going on. Just the full direction of the Brothers of Legacy, and we want you to be a part of that. So we have opened up a membership. We have different levels, and it gives you an opportunity to invest in Brothers of Legacy, while at the same time learning about what we are learning to do as well. So you can really be a part of this journey. So within that, you'll be a part of our Facebook group. You'll get some apparel. You'll have an opportunity to be on screen with us during Freestyle Fridays. It is a plethora of things that are possible just being a part of this membership, and it's growing. So as we grow, you get to grow with us. So before we get started, before we join, make sure you go to that link, hit the link, and within that minute, sign up, be a part. And of course, we're going to give you a shout out for everyone that joins, and be a part of this growth, because it is important that you guys are part of this journey. It's not just about us. It's about you going in the direction that God has set us to go in. So again, hit that link, be a part, and we appreciate you. We are coming into our next season. This is season 2. We have come out of the breaks, and we are now ready to enjoy another all of the stuff that's happening around the world, politically, in our communities and things of that nature. So these conversations are going to be taken up a notch. So be a part of that. So we appreciate you as well. All right, let's get into it. Let's enjoy the show. That's it. So we'll see you on the inside. Take care. What up?
What's up?
What's going down? Hey. Yeah, you see it. You see it. Happy Tuesday, y'all.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another edition of Brothers of Legacy.
So yes. I know there's 12 of us in here right now. So I know you guys watched the promo. Listen to me. What you want to do is go ahead and jump in their private Facebook group, because listen, we get lit in there. Don't just say we talk. You know, it's all good here but I'm telling you, the Facebook groups where it gets really down in. So make sure you think, hey, subscribe. What y'all waiting on? Like, we need y'all. Come on through.
All right. So let's see. Let's get into this. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Mama Corey. I apologize, we're a little late.
Hey, honey.
Good morning.
My honey.
What's up, Cole? Yes, we are getting deep.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Good morning, Lisa. Blessings to you, my friend. Thank you for sharing. He said, "My man, good morning." Go ahead.
Oh my goodness, my manners.
My manners. Oh shoot, Melissa's in the building.
Yes, she is.
Good morning. Good morning.
My baby is in rhythm. Hey, baby.
Oh, what was I about to say? So my podcast people, appreciate you guys rocking with us as well. Thank you for hanging as we get into some different spaces in different places. So we're going to drop this intro and listen. This is your opportunity to share, tag somebody, because we're going to get real and real transparent today. All right.
Right.
So let's get into it in 1, 2, Trey. I didn't want to catch that. Morning. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Good morning. What's up, everybody?
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Come on
good?
back. Yeah. This is how we do it. No, I'm saying that's
Look, I just want to shout out to all those people who live in the Midwest and all the cold areas. Georgia has
Listen, man, tell you.
we're at about 31 degrees right now here.
Yeah.
It's nice and toasty. It's, as you can see, when you don't have hair like this, you got to keep a scully on. So yeah, the scully is very intentional this morning. How you guys doing this morning? How y'all doing out there?
The struggle is real, man, when it's cold.
It really is. Hey Terry, you got the con, because I think brother AD is a little frozen right now.
Yeah, it looks like it. But it's okay. So yeah, we're gonna get into the topic this morning. We're talking about the struggle. It's 32. Sid Deborah's in Texas, I'm assuming. You said it's 32 in Austin. So I think everybody,
it's a cold day in America right now. It's a cold day in America.
Yeah. Good morning, frozen America. 2020 is a beast, man. I'm telling you. So we're talking about the struggle with having a mental conversation. I thought D had hair. I thought to myself, that grew fast. It's a hat.
What's going on, sir?
Morning.
Wait, Terry, what'd you say? You thought what?
No, I
was reading Mrs. comment, and she said that.
She by the way, I thought I had hair.
Yeah, it's but let's be clear. Let's be real clear. That my honey is fine in her profile pic. I'm just saying. But she said, I thought D had hair. I thought to myself, that grew fast. I had hair. But that's on, baby. Cole said it's snowed in Nashville, and it's still considered warm as opposed to other parts of the country. Exactly. So me and Melissa, we live out here in Idaho, so it's cold.
It's supposed to be cold there, though.
Why?
Because it's Idaho.
You know what?
Let's get to the North Midwest.
Let's get to the no. AD, before Dwayne going for the tangent about how cold it is. Go on over there. The mental struggle. AD, you good over there, buddy?
Accepting the mental struggle.
The mental struggle.
I think his CPU is going through some mental issues right now.
Yeah, struggle. Okay, well, so he'll take his stuff off here in a sec. Hey, Samantha.
Morning.
What's going on?
She don't even talk to me no more. I guess she's mad.
Because it is. It's Idaho.
Huh?
The name of alone.
Morning, Melissa.
That's my honey there. That's my honey.
Now, see, Melissa, I let it go a long time ago. I'm not gonna run around like George Jefferson with the no hair here and the afro on the side. I just can't do it. So I was just like, thank you, God, that my head didn't have too many lumps from all my former mess.
That's right. That's a hard struggle. But the mental struggle, you guys, that's what we're talking about today. Accepting the mental struggle. You know, me and AD did a podcast. We do the Birds We Talk. And a couple of weeks ago, we interviewed Matthew. I can't think of his last name right now, but he was talking about mental health issues and how men, per se, won't, first of all, accept it. Second, get help for it. And so, henceforth, the continuous issue, because we don't want to get help. So, I guess the question that I want to ask.
Can you see me now?
Is that why is it? Yeah, we can see you.
Oh.
We can hear you too.
We can hear you too. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I like that fro.
We see that blowout. That's what we see.
That's what we see. That fro.
So we see the blowout.
He called it a blowout. I won't gonna hit you there, but
I had to take y'all back to the 70s, man.
So,
they done came back around the blowouts, Pastor.
Yeah.
Come on,
80 is doing the computerized pop and lock. Please. Yeah, the struggle was on the real right now. But why do we struggle so hard?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Am I here? Can you hear? Okay, hold on. Yeah, so that's the question, because I hate what's that people call Spectrum, Mobile, Charter. They suck. I'm just saying that right now. But real quick, the mental struggle is basically the things that we're dealing with mentally that we don't a lot of times admit to ourselves when it gets heavy on us. You know, when we have a hard time just getting through the day. And sometimes based on how we grow up, we have to have such a there you go, Ashley. Bam, Spectrum sucks. The bravado of having to be, to man up through things.
Right.
As opposed to accepting the mental struggle, having a moment, to either cry or to talk to someone, either, your spouse or a professional, like he was saying, with Matt, talking to a professional, talking out through your issues so you can work through those things as what's going on and being able to deal with it in the most the healthiest fashion.
Yeah.
So
Well, we
I
might
kind
as
of
well
wanted
just
to
jump
tackle
right
that.
on in foot first. We might as well jump on in foot first. And if it's cool with you
Right.
guys,
So,
I'll share my opinion with it. Here's the reality. What we fail to realize is that we are spirit, soul, and body. And most of us understand that to some extent, but I don't think we really apply it. See, we're spirit, and most of us, we have no issue going to church, listening to a pastor, getting a word. We take care of the spiritual aspect of things. Physically, we understand that this spirit that we have is housed in a body, and we work out, we walk, we go to the gym, we get diets. Some of us gone plant-based, vegan. Some of us have changed our diets. We address that, but the part that especially black brothers and sisters, we fail to realize is also healthy is the mental or that soul aspect, the way we reason, the way we think, that mental faculty. We abuse it. It's like looking at the dude that goes to the gym and he's ripped, but
Right.
he forgets leg day every single day of every single week, and his
Right.
upper body is massive, and everybody's like, "Oh, look at his pecs, look at his arms," and then he got Chico sticks for legs. That's what we do to our mind.
The Chico sticks. Right. Right.
70s. See,
I had to climb on board, Pastor. I had to climb on
what's
board.
What's
up?
up, Helsino?
As you know, what's up,
What up?
buddy?
What up?
morning.
I know he's coming. Chris, you see Chris is coming, I don't know
Yes, he
why
said,
you do
I'm
that.
Italian. I cry every day from 2 to 4.
Hey,
You gotta put on the you
shout
gotta
out
put
to
it on the
Chris
phone.
though.
You
Shout
gotta
out
put
to
it on the
Chris.
phone.
Yeah.
I know I'm sounding like a hog, but I watched Chris. I watched him on Periscope a couple days, and his name. Can you put his comment back up there real quick? It doesn't show on here, but his
Free to laugh
profile,
now.
free to
Free to
laugh.
laugh now.
I,
Free to
Yeah.
I
laugh now.
didn't realize what that meant
Right.
until I watched and I heard him say, "I've battled with depression for so long, and
Mhm.
now I'm free to laugh."
Yeah.
Right.
His
Right.
name and what he stands for is what this is about.
Right. Right.
We need to exercise here. We need to exercise and condition here because we're literally leaving out a third of who we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Right.
know, uh, going back to Cole's comment, this Cole, it has been ingrained in most men to not accept any struggle at all, physical, mental, emotional, nor physical. Um, to kind of piggyback on that, I remember when I was coming up, and I had an uncle who, and this being a little bit transparent, but I had an uncle who shot and killed another one of my uncles, who was all part of the same gang, who was all part of the same family. My
Okay.
auntie was married. My auntie was married to one man. My other auntie was married to another man, and they got into a fist fight at the convenience store, and my uncle shot my other uncle.
Wow.
So when he went to prison, for a little while. He got out, and he was going through therapy sessions. And I remember my family was talking about how crazy he was and why are you doing all that? You ain't, why did we always have to incorporate the fact that I'm getting help with this issue to crazy? That doesn't make it. He had an issue. He had anger issues. He had this and he that, but we quick to label everybody as crazy because they go get help. Why is that? I wonder. I've always wondered that.
Right.
Well, there's the answer, and then there's the perceived answer.
Right.
Right.
The answer is conditioning.
Right.
I wholeheartedly believe that certain people know the importance of mental health. Just think about it. I'm not gonna make this a white black issue, but our white brothers and sisters, generally speaking, don't have a whole lot of issues going to a counselor or a therapist. We do, and it goes back to our grandparents and our parents and their parents,
Yeah.
and I think that um, it goes back to slave times because you had to be broken to
Right.
to be plucked from freedom and indoctrinated into a slave system.
Right.
You had to be broken, and physically wasn't enough. So you had to be mentally broken.
Right.
And what happened is I think that from times and probably even before that to a lesser degree, but during those moments, during those times, I think what we see is people who are mentally disconnected from the world that they live in to try to cope and not understanding that we absolutely need to get some things out or they fester, they boil, and they cause
Right.
damage. Just like if you get a viral infection or a bacterial infection, even better, and you leave it untreated, what could be something that's mild mannered ends up being life threatening, if not mortal, at the end of the day. And that's what we've done. We've learned to keep to ourselves, not tell anybody about this, not to show weakness, because those were all
Right.
signs.
Yeah. Cole says, funny you say that. I was in the military with the guy that was from the waist
Right.
up looked like a
Cole
block
said,
of
"Funny
granite.
you said."
Oh, from the waist down, he had two black toothpicks. Ashley says, now I'm free to laugh. Exactly. If you guys don't know Chris Rossetti's story, you really should follow him on Periscope. He does have an interesting story. Not only is he a great voiceover actor, but he has a story behind everything that he does. So
Hey,
appreciate
look,
that.
he sounds like the white James Earl Jones, by the way.
Yeah,
He got a
Right.
voice that's made
That
for
dude,
this.
that
Right.
dude could read the phone book and get followers. It's crazy. What was that? I think it said during the prison docket, Dr. Ing started a 40-day food fast on Friday. Tara said, "Hey, Tara, good morning to you. If I can suggest my guest will talk on this subject tonight and get here for real. All right." And she's going to join me on Sunday on my life coach panel I'm doing on my podcast as well. Dwayne Goodson's, as you said, got a protocol for everyone, no matter where you are in your journey. Cole says this is a powerful. That's a powerful declaration. The whole thing, as you said, goes back to having knowledge of service and the ability to pay for it in the history. Cole, we hear from the men and women when we are boys. This is true. We hear from men and women when we're boys. Men don't cry. Toughen up. Suck it up. Men don't whine. They rise above and keep going. I remember my mother telling me that when I was 14. No, this is when my mother said this exact quote to me at 16 years old. When after she dropped the bomb that the man that raised me for 16 years wasn't my father. That's what she said to me.
Whew.
And
Mama was tough.
And that when I tell you that thing haunted me. And I was like, and for a long time I tried to do that. I tried to toughen up. I tried to, wave it off and all that. But
have any of you guys told your boys at any point in time that same thing? Because I literally told mine that yesterday. And I had to stop. And God has been making me laugh a lot lately.
Yeah.
But he was playing on the furniture. He separated the couch.
Okay.
And I literally, I'm telling this is not no embellishment. I grabbed him by the shirt like this, literally like this. And I said, "Come here." And I was like, "Don't you know better than that?" And then he started tearing up. And I was like, "What you crying for?
Right.
What you crying for?" And then I realized I was perpetuating that type of mentality.
Right. Right.
And then I stopped and I was like, "Look, I know why you're crying. You're crying because you think you're in trouble and you're scared." I was like, and that's okay. But you got to realize what you did. So I'm trying my best to reprogram some of the programming that we grew up with.
Yeah.
and that's why it's hard for us because it's what we know and it's what
Yeah,
we're used to and it's what we pass on.
indeed. And that is the issue. I mean, for me personally, I know we haven't heard from Pastor Brian yet this morning. He's over there sucking down his Folgers and ain't said 2 words. But so we're gonna get him in here in a minute because he's gonna drop some major nuggets and bombs in just a second. But I
It's tea
remember
this
when
morning. It's tea this
I
morning.
was
It's tea. Oh, we're teeing it up. All
tea
right.
this morning.
All right.
Look, see, that's that young Mike Tyson uppercut looking for that
It's coming.
space to put it.
Yeah, it's that Nate Johnson knockout. It's coming.
That's
Yeah, sorry.
look, you got
I'm gonna leave Nate alone.
Leave
Poor
Nate
Nate.
alone.
Poor Nate. Nate.
Yeah, but he said, but how Tina said has a good point. They said toughen up, but they didn't tell you exactly how to do that. So we
Right.
had to guess.
Guess right, and we guess wrong. The next
We
comes,
guess
yes,
wrong.
We guess wrong. Right. That's
And
He
that
said,
was me
don't want to shake their
for
confidence.
years.
Right.
Yep.
And he said we all have to reprogram. We were raised by folks that imitated savages. It's up to us to reprogram.
It is. I agree with that. We
Definitely.
got to at some point or another, or we
Definitely.
continue to go down this rabbit hole.
I think it's
You
the I guess dealing with those feelings, how to how to deal with your feelings in the most healthiest manner. Instead of, I think a lot of times when feelings are misunderstood, we reach for anger. And a lot of times, that's our initial response as opposed to kind of processing what we're going through, what you're feeling, and dealing with it in the most healthiest manner, especially in your household. If you're dealing with your significant other, that's the major, or even dealing dealing with your kids.
Right.
I saw that with the green screen. Faster.
Yeah.
Whatever. I bet I have my head down.
No, the light has got to hit.
The little things that irritate you.
Yeah. I
Oh.
feel you.
But yeah, I think that is the crux of the issue, just dealing with, when things happen and when it gets heavy, how to deal with it, like I said, in a healthy manner, as opposed to lashing out and reaching for anger, especially if that's what you've seen, like this is how I see my dad, or I've seen other male figures deal with these things in the most angerish, in an angry manner.
It's okay.
Angerish. Today's word is
Hey, look,
angerish.
create that word. Go ahead and put it out there. Copyright it too.
Be a trendsetter. I think this is, and when I speak on this, I speak strictly on Terry and what he did. I was afraid of the judgment when I wanted to go out and ask for somebody for some help, or ask for even a fellow man to give me some mentorship. I was afraid of the judgment. I was afraid somebody was going to look at me and say, he didn't want no help. He just here to bug me with his nonsense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He really don't want to. He's this, and then names get called and things like that. So for me, I didn't want the judgment. That's the reason why I never sought the help that I needed. You know what I'm saying? But if I could read a couple of these comments though real quick. Cole said, Alcino, you spoke a word, brother. You were not told how to correctly toughen up. It's necessary, but having no understanding of it, we become unhealthy male adults. And I have to say, I was one of those unhealthy male adults. Hey, V, good morning to you. Oh, and V has another book, y'all, just in case. If you got the first one. Book number 2 is in
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
My one of my closest friends is an author. Yeah. All right. You love it. Cole says, rain down. Angerish. Nas. I like that. Quote.
I like that. Close quote. I like that. Look, I'm hearing some stuff here that I'm enjoying where this is going. Absolutely, Chris. Absolutely. We're not immune to it, but I'm loving where it's going, because when AD was talking, he came up with a new term, angerish, and he talked about anger. And then Terry, he said a term that kind of got me going a little bit. He said fear. He said shame. So I'm gonna try to do a little leading here, but I want to see where y'all go with this, because I know what it's saying to me. It sounds like a lot of emotions are involved in this mental thing. How do you guys view emotions? Are they positive, negative? What does emotions say to you? Because we all feel them. As that kid that was told to shut up, toughen up, stop crying, stop acting like a girl, whatever the case was. We all had these conversations at some point in time, and we've all had emotions that go along with them. How do you guys view the emotional side of the mental game?
Pastor Brian.
Um,
Oh,
I
I
heard that. Yeah, see,
man, I hated that statement. That line right there, I hated it.
Oh,
yeah, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, just to that specific question, I think you have to go to the purpose behind the disposition.
right,
You know,
right.
they meant well, but when you are growing up in a system that is designed to beat you down, you're told to keep grinding.
Right.
You know, what they all wanted us to do was to keep grinding. Don't let it stop you. And our only response was, you don't have time to cry.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got too much work to do.
Right.
So they weren't telling you not to feel. They were telling you, keep pushing in spite of.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We look at it as they're telling us not to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
You know, there's where the
That's
grit is. And it's funny, right? You have to think about you have to consider the mind. Some people put the mind over here in this category where it's hierarchical,
Right.
where you've got four components of the brain,
Mm-hmm.
and everything is isolated into compartments, right?
Right.
You have another group who says it's ecumenical. You know, there's a spiritual thing that drives all of it. So they're confused. You know, so there's a scientific version,
Right.
and then there's an ecumenical version, and you have to find yourself somewhere in between or on one side or the other. I think that in our community, if we just speak into our community,
Right.
it was never about, and I'm gonna say this one more time, it was never about don't feel. It was never about don't act like a girl. What is
Right.
meant by that is we have much to do and we don't have time for that behavior.
Right.
Right.
That behavior sends the wrong message. But we could never really Dwayne, you said something earlier. You said that, you know, our friends on the other side of the table know how to go and seek counsel.
Mm-hmm.
But they also know how to sit down and argue with each other
Mm.
Right.
Facts.
and walk away and not hold a grudge.
Facts.
Right? That's just real. You know, you can have two guys get into a fist fight one day and they're bowling together the next day.
Right.
We stay mad forever.
Yeah.
We have generational anger, and I know if people with the Hatfields and McCoys, they kept there's that too.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but for the most part, we get, you know, we carry
Right.
stuff. I've seen families where anger and hurt and depression is carried through generations.
Mm-hmm.
The
Right.
behavior is carried through generations, and we have to break that cycle. Some people say,
Right.
"Oh, well, we're under a curse." No, we're not under a curse. Romans 5:6 tells us the curse was reversed. The curse was broken.
Right.
So that's the first thing that we have to recognize is that we are not under a curse.
True.
So you don't have the right to walk around in a depressed state.
Right.
But you do have the right to be delivered, to be set free. So how do you get there? You get there by peeling the onion. You get there by trying to figure out, why was it that my father said this to me?
Yeah.
True.
Where was he at the time?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Right. Me and Dwayne was talking about this the other day. You know, you think back to I'm going through a season right now. You know, I'm going through the stages of grief. I just lost my son. You know, I've been mad.
Right.
You know, I told my wife a few days ago, I'm like, today is just not a good day.
Right.
I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to do nothing. Let me allow me time to sit over in my corner and sulk for a minute. If you give me the time, I'm going to come out of it. How do I know that? Because I'm asking you for time. So I have to keep my commitment regions. Yeah.
He sounds like he's not sure if I'm still like supposed to like Northerners.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I'm saying, so I think the most important thing, and I think somebody said it earlier, is without communication, I think one of the biggest barriers to recognizing our issues is the lack of communication. We don't know how to talk. Terry, you said I was afraid of the judgment. Who are you afraid of judging you? Who was the person that made you afraid of the judgment? Was there a name attached to the person, or are you speaking in general? Because if you don't know who you're talking about, then who are you afraid of? You're afraid of a ghost because you haven't even named your potential judge.
Good morning.
Right. True.
You understand? We make these statements. I was afraid of judgment. By who?
Right.
And what power are you giving them over you?
Yeah.
Right.
That's good, sir.
Yeah. So we have to have so the most important thing is having a conversation. Someone asked me the other day, they said, can you recommend a counselor? And my question was, well, why did you call me? You called me to ask me for a counselor?
Yes. That's what we're talking about Sunday. I love it. I can't wait.
Right?
Don't ask me.
It's Sunday, but no, I'm sorry, Pastor. I cut you off. Let me shut my mouth.
No, it's okay. The thing is, you called me because you needed help.
Right.
If I'm worth the phone call, am I worth you telling me what's going on with you?
That's
right. True, my peers. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, if they're your peer, don't they have as much? If I see you as my peer, that means we carry the same power.
Right.
So why am I concerned about you?
Right.
Look, y'all gonna make me have a Holy Ghost time up in this office.
No, I mean the thing is, see what the enemy can't have you, but because he can't have you, he wants to trick your mind. Right.
Come on,
it's a battle of the mind, and so the question is: do you own your whole mind, or are you just grabbing one of the chambers, one of the compartments, because you realize it's 4 chambers? Some people say it's 8, some people say it's 6. Whatever the number is, how many of those areas or those compartments do you have control of?
Come on, sir.
Right, and for any area that who was that said that about the Chico stick legs? Right, that was you,
Dwayne.
Right. So for any part of your mind that you're not working on, that part of your mind is the Chico stick of your work. Right. Does that make sense? So the reality is, if you recognize from an ecumenical standpoint that the enemy is after your mind, when you feel the attack coming, what we have to learn to do is recognize the attack. And now we have to activate our defense mechanisms.
Come on, sir.
Where does my help come from?
Yes.
Right.
Where
does because I know I can't do this by myself.
Right.
So who's next in line to give me some support? And some of us don't have anybody that we can call. And then the question is, why don't you?
Right. That's the two part right there.
Yeah, I don't want to call this person because they do this, and this. I don't want to call that person because this might happen. You spend all your time disqualifying people, and you spend very little time taking a chance.
Right.
That's good, sir.
Very good. You're right. That's where I was at. Not wanting to reveal and not wanting to call and not wanting to reach out. Because. I don't know, because I think sometimes it's not even, for me, it wasn't judgment. This is stupid to feel this way.
But it's it was an emotion though, right? You felt an emotion, right?
Yeah, like this is dumb. Why am I feeling this? This is stupid. I don't want to talk to nobody because this is dumb. And
you want to know what? I bet you every person on this panel and everybody who's willing to be honest with themselves,
right?
You felt something after you either did something dumb, courageous,
right,
or that was life altering for you,
right?
If allow me to be transparent, because Pastor he took the carrot that I threw out there and he ran with it like a strong horse supposed to, and I knew it was coming. But every time let's see, what's the word for it? Fornication. That's the word. Every time I fornicated in my life,
right,
whether saved or unsaved, backslidden or in good standing with God, regardless of every time, I felt some emotions. I felt some shame. I felt some guilt. I felt some nastiness. Felt a whole lot of things. When I had arguments with people that I love, I felt an array of emotions.
Right.
And you know what? I began to see after I went to counseling,
Right.
that emotions are simply that. They're emotions.
Right.
We assign emotions, positive emotions and negative emotions. That's not the way God designed emotions. Emotions are nothing more than a barometer for you to sit back and say, what's going on? Okay, why did I feel that way? Pastor said me and him were talking the other day, and we were. And he brought out a point when I just made that point. He said, what is one of the first questions that a counselor normally asks? Well, how do you feel?
Right.
What made you feel like that?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the beautiful thing about emotions. It's not a such thing as a negative or positive emotion. It's an emotion. God gave you that as a reaction to something that you are in, something that you're either connected to or something that you disconnected from.
Yes.
In any way, shape, or form, we have to get to the point where we can take those things that we're feeling, those things that are affecting us enough to affect the whole dynamic of our family, the whole dynamic of our relationships, and everything that deals with us internally, externally. We have to take that emotion, that feeling, and we have to associate it to whatever it is that we're missing, whatever it is that we need to plug back into. So when I felt that shame, that dirt, that nasty, that filth, when I committed adultery or when I committed fornication, whichever one it was at the time, what I was feeling at that moment was a disconnect from grace. What I was feeling at that moment was, now I'm all on my own. I don't have that covering and that protection. I need to do something to make that back right, because the emotion is not what's guiding and what's leading you. It's not what's influencing you. It's telling you there's something wrong. You want to know what I'm talking about? Your skin, your nerves. You get shot. Ouch, that hurt. Ooh, I'm bleeding. Guess what? Your body is saying something is wrong with you.
Right. True.
Your body is saying something is wrong with you. The emotions, your mind is saying something's not right with this picture. We have to make ourselves big enough to think about us, because that shame, it ain't going nowhere. All it normally does is dig a deeper hole for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Ask anybody who's done it. Ask yourself. I know you've done it. I know you've been there. What I'm saying should be resonating to you, because we've all been there. You feel that sickness, that shame, that guilt after you cheated on somebody that you're supposed to be committed to. Guess what you do? You hide it.
Yeah.
You don't show it to nobody.
Right.
You ain't want to talk to. I don't want to talk to Pastor Brian or to AD, because now, I'm exposed.
Right.
You see everything, and that takes trust. And trust is a hard thing to build.
Right.
So what's the easy thing to do? We're like water. We take the path of least resistance. Well, I'm gonna just cover this up right here. Nobody can see it.
Right.
I'm gonna just hide over here. I'm gonna just get these fig leaves and put this on because nobody see it. Look, if you want your life to change, if you want to see real change in your life, you have to get to the nitty gritty.
Right.
Find that emotion. What is that emotion telling you? What am I lacking? What did I change that makes my life worse?
Right.
And when you find that, you make it right. And sometimes if you're standing in front of a tree, you can't tell you're standing in a forest.
Right.
Hence that old saying, I can't see the forest for the trees.
Right. Right.
That's us. We let those emotions put us in a place where all we see is this thing right in front of us.
Right.
That's why there's safety in a multitude of counsel.
Right.
Because counsel, they can sit back. They got a vantage point you don't have. And they can take the collective wisdom or experience that they have and say, hey, look, take a step back. Hold on. You're doing too much. Take a step back. Breathe. Relax. Now look at the situation again.
Right.
It's healthy. We need it. It's a part of who we are. We just gotta understand it.
Right. Real quick, speaking of feelings and dealing, the Sisters of Legacy is coming up today at 8:30 Eastern Standard. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. There we go. All right. So he said, Ding, I wish I would have known you were messed up while I was messing up. I would have had, I guess, had to carry it alone. Carried that alone. Wouldn't have had to carry it alone.
I would not have had to carry that alone.
Yeah.
Facts.
Right.
Yeah. But it's funny. It goes back to the fear of talking to somebody.
Right.
What is your greatest fear of talking to somebody? Your greatest fear of talking about your problems is the lack of trust with the resource that you've chosen to reach out to.
Right.
Right?
Facts.
You don't trust who you want to reach out to, so you don't reach out to anyone, and that's what it is. And I've learned that we fear the rumor mill. What real value does the rumor mill have? The reality is they're going to talk about you regardless.
Right.
And you're the topic of discussion this week. Somebody else will be the topic of discussion next week.
Right.
If you tell somebody your business and then they go tell your business, it makes you feel bad.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it make you feel bad? Because you felt like you could trust that person.
Right.
And you feel like they betrayed your trust. I'm telling you this in confidence. Oh, gee, great. Yeah, you're confidently telling me, and I'm going to confidently tell somebody
else. Right.
That's just the truth. And that kind of stuff bothers us, and I can't, it's a sad thing when you treat someone like a confidant.
Right.
And you find out that they're not.
Right. Right.
That's painful, and it can be destructive.
Right.
To relationships. That kind of stuff has broken up families and all of that stuff. And so there's a fear of that, which is why we have to begin to identify who the confidants are in our lives.
Right.
And if you can't find one, go get you one, pay for one. But you have to talk to somebody. Right. You get this stuff off your chest, because you can't, you're walking around like a ticking time bomb. Hey, Pastor, can you talk through the three
C's?
Oh, yeah. Who I can't remember who I'm quoting. Somebody gave Jakes or somebody.
Jakes, yeah. Jakes was the one I heard it from too.
Okay, they talked about, everyone has 3 C's in their life. You have constituents, you have comrades, and you have confidants.
Right.
And the mistake is treating a confidant like a comrade.
Right.
Because a comrade is someone where you're on the same team and you share the same enemy. Right. A comrade shares the same enemy with you. And as long as you all share the same enemy, you're in it to win it. You're ride or die.
Right.
But the minute that comrade changes teams, you become the enemy. And so every strategy that you all use together to conquer your enemy, your common enemy, is now being used against you. He knows your secrets. And that's a struggle. That's a struggle. But you have to identify the comrades in your life so that you don't get disappointed when they change teams.
True.
Don't think it's strange when the strategy is used against you because they've changed teams. Don't be mad at them. The problem with you is that you have made them a confidant and they were really a comrade. And that relationship was temporary. At some point, they were going to change teams.
Yes, definitely.
The constituent is the person who can build with you.
Right.
And constituents build with you as long as you all are working on the same project. You have a project in mind.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
so as long as you are working on the project together, everything works fine.
Right.
But at some point, the project is over.
Right.
And you no longer require them, or they no longer require you.
Right. Right.
And a lot of times we misjudge our constituents in life.
Right.
The analogy was constituents are like the scaffolding that go up with the building.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're erecting the building, the scaffolding is there to hold it up.
Right.
But as soon as the building is erected, the scaffolding goes away. You no longer need it.
Right.
And a lot of us are mistaking those constituents. The project is over. You don't need them anymore. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to be mad, right? But it's time to move on.
Absolutely.
And in your life, you do good to have 2 or 3 confidants in your life, someone that you can be completely open and raw to.
Yes.
Complete. Let me go back to the constituent. The constituent will help you build the building, but they don't have to know everything that's in the building.
Right. Right.
You understand? There's only a certain amount of details that you can give them, because a constituent will take the blueprints for your building and go build another building.
Right.
The same building you have, Twin Tower, somebody, 2 identical buildings going up, but there's different businesses on the inside.
Right.
So be careful how much information you release to a constituent. They can help you build it, but they don't have to know every detail. Right. And then you do good to have a confidant. A confidant is a person that's with you. That's your ride or die. That's no matter what. That's your Vegas buddy.
Right.
That's the one who tells you got egg on your face, you got a booger in your nose. Look, no, we're not getting ready to do that.
Yeah.
You know, you can beat you can't stay there very long. Right. This is the person that you can completely share your innermost thoughts and innermost secrets with, and you can trust that person. And every human being does good to have maybe 2 or 3 in your entire lifetime.
Right.
So those are the 3 C's.
Awesome. Cole said, he said, the moment I learned being talked about was inescapable was when someone blabbed to me about somebody else. And then about 2 months later, the same person was gleefully spreading a rumor about me. Yes, indeed. He said, once it's out there, you can't control the narrative anymore. It's a fear of loss of control, which is true. You know, there's certain things, you know, you want everybody to know all of what you do, all your business, you know, because people don't know how to handle confident information and use it properly. You know, it said people don't want to be exposed, but exposure helps to bring about change. True. But it's just how is exposed, you know, helps for your healing, helps for your change, because if it's exposed in a unhealthy manner, then I become defensive, you know, and I'm protecting, you know, trying to justify an action as opposed to changing who I am or working on who I am.
That's one of the gifts that Donald Trump has.
Right.
Yeah.
Donald Trump doesn't care what you think.
Right.
Your thoughts about him carry 0 value.
Right.
He gives no.
It's a gift. It's a gift.
Hey.
I love people talk about what's the preacher's name? John Gray.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
People talk about what's the preacher here in Atlanta that came from Maryland, Baltimore?
He's talking about
Jamal Bryant.
Jamal Bryant.
Right.
Stay in the news with drama.
Right.
But preach every Sunday.
Right.
He'll give 2 cents what y'all think about him.
Right.
Because he's come to a place in his life where he accepts his humanity.
Yes.
But it does not.
That's the key, Pastor.
Conflict his ability to fulfill his purpose.
And that's the key.
That's the key. Know that you're going to make mistakes.
Right.
And people are going to talk about you. Everything is not going to be great.
Right.
But why should it stop your purpose?
Right.
It shouldn't. And see, and Pastor, here's the beautiful thing, right? as you and AD was just talking about that, and you were talking about exposure and the things that you were going into, it made me think, right? We have to learn to start when we don't understand something, find a correlation that we do understand.
Right.
Healing is a process, and the process is pretty much the same, be it physical, be it spiritual, be it mental. Now, it's going to change based on what it is, but the process is the same. And look, here's the thing about healing. One of the first things you have to do is you have to expose the wound. Then you have to get rid of dead and necrotic and infectious tissue, the stuff that can continue to hurt you further. Okay, let me break it down a little bit, because sometimes I try to be a nerd and I talk a little above my understanding. So let me break it down, make it simple. You get shot, right? When you get shot, some of your tissue around the entrance room to that where you've been shot, it's gonna be severed. It's gonna lose blood and it's gonna lose oxygen. Without the blood, it has no oxygen. If it has no oxygen, it can't live. Therefore, it dies. It's necrotic tissue. That stuff has to be cut away, because that dead tissue will cause further necrotic tissues to spread throughout the body. It kills other tissue. All right. Then you got to go in and disinfect the wound. You got to clean the wound out. It's going to be painful. It's not going to feel good. It's not good. Nothing about it is going to feel good. Then you got to retrieve whatever it was that caused the wound.
Right.
And that retrieval process is going to hurt.
Right.
Now, just like in medicine, some things you can do, they got this thing called local anesthesia. You know, they give you this shot or they give you some medicine and it numbs the pain a little bit. For some, it takes the pain away at the moment. But after you've and think about this, is that experience you had with Jesus, you know, when everything just crashed on you, and for a moment you get into that place of intimacy with God and everything stops. Nothing hurts no more. Everything's okay. This is why people can be delivered on Sunday and live in hell on Monday.
Right.
Because you get in that place where God is put you in a place where let me take some stuff out of you.
Right.
I know it hurts, but I'm gonna take some of this pain away. Now I'm gonna put you back in your situation. Now you Monday and you ain't around the brothers and sisters laying hands and praying. Now your feeling is gone. The reality who God is still the same, but that feeling is gone. Now you got to walk out that healing. Now there's still stuff you got to do that you're going to feel that's just like if you break that bone of that shot. Right now, it's 31 degrees here. And guess what? My knees hurt. You know why my knees hurt? Because I used to jump out of airplanes for a living. And I had some knee injuries. And those injuries are long gone. But that process of healing, some things grew back, some things thinner, some things not as strong. I still feel it. Now, can I still run? You absolutely right. Can I still go if I need to? You absolutely right. But it's a process.
Yes.
And that's what we have to realize. It's not going to be over today just because you beat it. You're going to have to still walk out that same thing. You want to know why sometimes scars slightly hurt? Because the composition has changed. Yeah, you're healed. Yeah, it's functional, but it's not the same.
Right.
And we have to understand that. We have to understand that things are different and they don't change. To live is to grow, and to grow is to change. And it's even a more strenuous process when you talk about injury, when you talk about trauma. Getting punched upside the head is trauma. It's trauma to the body. PTSD is trauma to the mind.
Right.
And we fooled ourselves to walk around in this world to think that we haven't lived trauma when all you've known is being hit left and right. Trauma is real. Don't avoid it. Deal with it.
Right. Let's see. Let me bust out some comments real quick. Cole said, it took almost my entire life to learn how to vet and embrace a confidant. Ebony said, Cole Johnson, I'm still trying to figure it out. The struggle is real. Cole said, I built a girl from nothing in the middle of putting it together. I cut myself. The cut didn't hurt me as much as disinfecting it. it does make you think. The purification process can hurt, but the benefit of it is worth it. I now don't feel the pain because of the healing that took place.
Come on,
He said, Cole Johnson, Cole dropping gems this morning. So I think with the having and going to the constituent, the three C's, it's not, I won't say it's an easy thing to figure out, because sometimes you just got to know who's in your team, and then when you realize where they're at, being willing to let them go. The job is done. Like, this is why they were here, and trying to discover, like, this is what, I was here for the goal, or I was here to attack this enemy that we both didn't like. And now that they're gone, there's no need for a relationship. It's just being truthful about the relationship that you have, because sometimes we fool ourselves like, no, they're ride or die. No, they're not really ride or die, because every time you meet, all we're discussing is this goal. Or every time we meet, all we're discussing is this enemy and how we're going to plan, but we never have confidential kind of information or conversations about each other. They're not really sharing anything else but the goal, so then you kind of have to figure out where you're at. It takes time, but trust me, it's not an easy process, because you might get somebody that you thought was a confidant and then they're like, yo, we're done. You leaving? Wait, hold on.
Right.
Wait, I thought we
and you spend time angry at them.
Right.
And what God did was expose you to who they are.
Right.
And what you should be is thankful.
Right.
Right. Don't be mad at a comrade because you thought they were a confidant.
Right.
See, we spend our energy getting angry at people
right.
for how they treat us. And the reality is you're carrying weight unnecessarily.
Right.
Right. A child will go to a parent and say something to the parent, share a thought with the parent, and the parent doesn't agree with the thought.
Right.
Right. And the parent is so busy trying to tell the child, stop thinking like that. But all the child wanted to do was see if the parent would listen.
Right. Right.
What am I saying? Not everybody is going to understand why you come to them.
Right.
Some people will get so busy trying to become the surgeon, and they're supposed to just be triage.
Right.
Once you find out they're just triage, give them the basics and leave the rest for the surgeon.
Right.
That's the thing that you have to realize. If I have an issue, and I'm sharing an issue, an emotion that I'm going through with a friend, and I can't finish what I'm saying, and the friend automatically starts to diagnose, then I'm talking to the wrong person. Right. Or let me pause a moment and say to the friend, please allow me to finish.
Right.
We have and I think some of the issues we have is we go into a conversation with an expectation of what the outcome is. Right. And when you don't get the outcome you want, you push the person to the side.
Right.
I think you have to reevaluate how your approach went.
Right. Wow.
Right. We get mad at people. We spend so much energy in all these different areas. And here's what I've learned. I've learned from somebody who said, I believe everything you say till you show me different. Once I begin to see the and all this stuff happen, now I know how better to work with you, to communicate with you. We waste so much energy being mad at folks for not being who we wanted them or who we needed them to be.
Right. Yeah.
That's not your responsibility. Just be a bit more wise in how you select people, your selection process.
Right.
You're going to lose a lot of people in this life.
Right.
Yes. Let them go.
Big fact.
Let them go. Don't be mad at them for leaving. Wish them well and keep it moving. I'm hung up on somebody that left me 3 years ago, and they're going about their business and living their life, and you still think you're still carrying that relationship in your mind. And now you're no good for anybody else that's trying to establish a relationship with you because you stuck on somebody that's gone.
Right. There you go.
What's wrong with me? Why am I refusing to let that go. What is wrong with me that I cannot release myself? Somebody who isn't even motivated to share space with me.
Come on,
let him go, so that you can be free to find your next thing.
You got to.
Right.
Yeah, and don't hold the grudge, because what happens is you holding on to that poisons you for any other opportunity that you have. When you fail at something, you carry the failure into your next project. Now you go in anticipating everything that's going to go wrong.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Because listen, it's a part of the process.
Right.
Stack up these failures and use them as stepping stones to your next success.
Right.
I like that, sir.
Don't carry the failure like it's restricting you or it's disqualifying you from your next event, your next project. Use it as a stepping stone to your next project.
Yes.
Learn from it. Apply what you've learned. Apply what you've learned from this relationship that didn't work out well. You know, I listen, I got five children. I'm a father of 5. I just lost a son, but they weren't all by the same woman.
Right.
And all my children are different. I got 2 by 1, 1 by 1, and 2 by another. And I can see the differences in all my children. And I'm like, okay, my oldest are like this. Why are they like that? Where did they get that? They got that from me. Oh, where was I when I had them?
And that's based. Right. That's based.
What was my mindset when I brought them into the world?
Right.
That speaks volumes. So when I messed up, wow, how did I mess that up? Well, let's see. Where was I when I did that? What was I thinking? What was my state of mind at that time? And when you can begin to peel that stuff back, thank you so much. Appreciate that, sis. When you can begin to peel those layers back, it helps you get a better understanding of yourself and how your mind thinks. Remember, going back to the chambers and all that. Is it ecumenical? Is it scientific? And all of that. All of those things play a role. And guess what? If you can begin doing that kind of research on yourself, how did I get here? Let's see. Where did I come from? Oh, I was over here. Okay. I made that left when I should have went right.
Right.
But that's okay. I made a left, and it took me a longer time to get around to that thing.
True.
But I still got there.
Right.
Some of us quit when we make a wrong turn, and we sit there stuck on that corner.
Right.
And we won't ask for directions. We won't ask for help. I'm in this place right now, and I don't know how to get out. I'm in this place. What resource are you using as your navigator, as your GPS to help you get out of that lost position that you're in? You just sit there.
Right.
So you beating this up. you tearing this, and I'm enjoying it because I know we getting close to time. I just want to leave a couple scriptures with people to think about, to meditate on. Proverbs 4:23 tells us, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Out of it flows the issues of life. Then there's another scripture that in Proverbs 2, it talks about, I want to say it's 27:19. What's up, little mama? I think it's 27:19. It says, a water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. And then of course, Matthew 6:21. I gotta find that one. Yeah, for where your treasure is, there is your heart. Your heart also will be. And then there's another one that talks about, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. I said all of those to say this: the heart of things is generally who you are. When you see the word heart in most places in the Bible, unless it's talking about the literal physical heart, you can make an educated argument that the Bible is referring to your mental faculties, the things that make you who you are, your experiences, your rationale, your processing, the way you process. And I said all that to say this: Whoever controls the soul man controls the whole man.
Right.
What do I mean? Whatever you're feeding, whatever you're nurturing, whatever it is that you're taking care of, that you're focusing on, that's what's going to control you. You want to know why the Bible tells us to walk after the spirit and not the flesh? Simple. Because 9 times out of 10, we spend all day, every day feeding the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Right.
Because we're constantly feeding it. We're feeding it the miseducation. Emotions are bad for us. We're feeding it miseducation. We don't need counseling. Keep people out your business. We feed it the miseducation of everything we watch, every conversation we have, everything we see, everything we listen to.
Right.
We got to make an attempt. If you want to be better, you can't believe what you don't know. Right. Faith starts with what you believe. It starts with knowledge. And if you don't know it, you can't believe it.
Right.
So if nobody ever tells you that emotions aren't bad, you will never believe that emotions aren't bad. If nobody ever tells you that this is how you get to this point, you will never know it.
Right.
So you got to take the things that have not worked for you in the past, push them to the side.
Right.
Give something else a chance.
Right.
What's the worst thing that can happen? What, you break a cycle and change and become legacy for your family? You change the script. That's the worst thing that can happen about you taking a chance on mental health.
Right.
Understanding who you are from a different point of view.
Right.
Maybe enough to change some things that have held your entire family bondage for generations. We got to do better. And this is why my people perish for a lack of knowledge. You don't know nothing about the mind and how it works, but we're in good mental health. We got to do better.
Yeah, we do. We do. I mean, it's all part of the process. And thank God for the healing process. Yeah, absolutely. The real enemy is, in fact, ignorance. You're so right, Osuna. Great topic, man. This is good stuff. I found out that my healing process or my business isn't everybody's business,
right?
But it is somebody's.
Right.
Amen.
Right. All right.
Hey, I said all. I say, and this, and I won't say nothing after this. AD, what you just said, Pastor, is absolutely correct. I always close anything that I do individually with, "You are God's gift to the world," but a gift that's left unopened is worthless. So open up the gift that God has put inside of you on purpose and express it in love. Why? Because somebody needs what's in you to get them in position to be who they're supposed to be. I'm tired of holding people up. If anybody's out there that I'm supposed to be pouring into any way, shape, or form, I want to be right enough that I'm not holding up progress in somebody else's life. The same is true for each one of you watching this. Somebody out there is designed for you to impact.
Yes, indeed. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So hopefully you got something out of this conversation, because this was really good. It went exactly where I wanted it to go. So it was awesome. It was awesome. I appreciate everybody rocking with us, and coming on and sharing. Appreciate all my brothers for being transparent, sharing their thoughts and their feelings about what's going on, because honestly, this is the crux of our community, and it's things like this that will change the narrative that's been so hardly perpetuated in our community. So I appreciate you. Make sure you share this opportunity. Still share, but we see you guys tomorrow, same place, same channel. And I appreciate you. Always know that we love you, but God loves you more.
Absolutely.
And I always like to close out saying, wear those masks, because it is serious. All right. Take care. I didn't want to catch that. Good morning. Welcome to another. Good morning. Everybody.